Good morning, boys and girls. I am excited to meet with you today because we are jumping back into our math curriculum. I have been missing it a little bit because we were so far and we were getting so good at it, and it is time to jump back in. I sent home your math workbooks and I am going to try to pick up where we left off. All right, so the only funny thing is I don't have the 3D shapes. I left them at school, so never fear. I am borrowing some of my kids' toys. So today we're gonna go over our 3D shapes and let's just kind of refresh our brains. So get your brain ready. Is it ready? Awesome. What shape is this? It is a sphere. Say sphere. A lot of you guys like to say sphere, but it's not a sphere, it's a sphere. It's a blend. It's a really hard blend, I know. I've got another one. They're both little oranges from the play set that my kids have. But they work, right? They're a sphere. Okay, what are some other examples of sphere? Shout it out. Ball. What else? The globe that we had in our classroom, that is another sphere. The moon. Did you guys know that the moon, when it's a full moon, is a sphere as well? It's always a sphere, but we just can't always see it as a sphere. Sometimes we only see it as a crescent. Okay, what shape is this? I'm curious to see if you guys know this one. You're right, it is a cylinder. Oh my goodness, I thought that was gonna trick you. Well, here, I did bring this to try to trick you. This is still a cylinder. It's just a short, fat cylinder. So if cylinder, let's talk about a cylinder and what makes a cylinder. A cylinder has two faces, okay? So the flat part is the face, remember. So it has two faces, one at the top and one at the bottom. And then it has this like middle rounded part where there's no flat sides, okay? And that's what makes it a cylinder. So this one still has that. This one has the two faces and then the middle cylinder part, okay? What about, and I can't take off the bottom part of the ice cream, but what about this shape? That's right, that is a cone. Say cone. Good. Okay, a cone has one face at the bottom, and of course the ice cream is kind of plopped up against it. And then it has a point at the top, okay? And it doesn't have any flat sides around the middle.
Except for the top.
So our last shape is tiny, tiny. And you know that this is a cube. Yes, you do. And it has 6 faces. And we can remember that because a dice has 6 numbers on it. And each number is a face. Okay. Now, boys and girls, in your math books, if you open to page 259, let me get there. We're going to do this workbook page, okay? So the top says, look at each shape and write the number of faces. So remember that a face has to be the flat part, okay? So does a sphere have a flat part? It does not, right? So how many faces does a sphere have? None. This is probably a better sphere than that one. Because it will roll, right? If it can roll, then it doesn't have any faces. So in the sphere, in the square by the sphere, we would put a 0, okay? Then we're gonna look at the cone. I almost said cylinder. And how many faces does the cone have? If you look at the bottom, you can see how many faces it has. You're gonna write the answer there. How many faces do you see? That's the flat part. Put the answer right there. Okay. We'll come back to the cube. The cube is the hardest part. All right, let's take a look at the cylinder. Remember our cylinder? How many flat faces does it have? One at the top and one at the bottom. So you can write the number right there. Okay? Now the cube is a really tricky one to count, and that's why I suggest that you just remember how many faces a dice has. How many numbers are on a dice? 6. So we know that a cube has 6 faces. It's really difficult for kindergartners to try to count that, and I don't expect you to. So we know that a cube has 6 faces, so you can write that right there. Now, here's where it gets tricky down here. We're asking some questions, and this is a graph. And so when you see a graph, these 2 boxes are asking only about this one shape. What shape is this? Cube. Awesome. The first question says, does it stack? Let's see. If a cube can stack, you should be able to put it on one on top of another. Does it stack? If you think it does stack, you're going to put an X right here. Let me make sure I got that right. Okay. Does a cube roll? That's a good question. It rolls in the sense that you can drop it like a dice, but does it roll like a ball? Okay, if it does not roll like a ball, then you're going to say, then you're not going to put anything here. Okay? Now let's look at the sphere. Does the sphere stack? What do you think? Can you stack 2 spheres together? Woo! I kind of gave you an answer there. If you think no, leave it blank. If you think you can stack spheres, then you're gonna. Guys, my phone went off, so it cut me off. Okay, so we'll edit that back together. Okay, so can spheres stack? Can you put one sphere on top of another sphere? Probably not, right? It's gonna roll off and bounce on the ground. Okay, can you roll a sphere? Did I just give you the answer for that? Okay, if you think yes, put an X. If you think no, a sphere does not roll, then leave it blank. All right. Cylinder. Can you stack a cylinder? So what do you think? Do you think you can stack a cylinder? Let's try. Do they stack? All right, if you think yes, put an X here. Can you roll a cylinder? Let's see if I put it back here. What do you think? Did the cylinder roll? If you think yes, put an X. Awesome. Now, take a picture of your math page when you're done and upload it to the activity so I can see it and let you know how you did. Okay? While you are here, you may also complete, I don't recall if we did this before we left or not, and I couldn't take one of your math books home. If you didn't complete this, you can complete this. It is page 258. Part of me thinks we already did this, so if we already did, don't worry about it. But if we didn't, this is a great way to keep your brain fresh on your math facts. Okay? I'll take a picture of both if we didn't do it. If we already did it, don't worry about it. Boys and girls, I'm so excited to be teaching you math again. I hope you are doing so good. I miss you. We're going to have a Zoom call on Friday night. Can't wait to see you then, okay? Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.